Hey, I'm Nick Von Brack, and this is the Record Podcast. Thanks for checking through again. Those aren't words. Shit. I don't even know why I go through all the formalities of this, because, I'm just going to screw all this up 100 times and re-edit it and edit it, and it's just going to end up sounding completely different. So you know what? This time I'm not even going to edit it. I'm just going to put it on through, and you're just going to deal with how awkward I am without editing. But thank you for checking out the podcast again. This is a little mini episode, so there's not going to be an interview, so feel free to stop listening now if you don't like them, but just going to run through a couple things. It'll be a quick little guy. First off, we got the winner of the Meatwave vinyl record contest. So last week, the guest was Chris Sutter from the band Meatwave and Truman and His Trophy. If you haven't listened to that episode, go back and check it out. But in that episode, I had people, whoever wanted to tweet or say anything on social media about the episode and promote the podcast and Meatwave. I would pick a winner from the group who did that. So the winner of this contest gets Meatwave's new album, Delusion Moon, which is excellent. It gets it on vinyl. So the winner of that is Matt Kistler, and his Twitter handle is @_Solix. So congrats to Matt, and I will get you in touch with Chris, and we'll hook all that up. But as an excellent album, if you haven't heard it yet or haven't heard the previous album, both Meatwave albums are great, and go back and even check out Truman and His Trophy stuff. It's all really good stuff. But yeah, so that's that. Also, go on, I'll have to do some self-promotion. Go on iTunes and leave a rating and or review. It's silly and only takes a few seconds, but it helps on my end, helps people be able to check this thing out, gets it boosted and spread around the world. So if you could leave a little love, leave a little comment, little review on iTunes, the Record Podcast, that'd be awesome. And you can find this podcast obviously on iTunes and SoundCloud, but also on Facebook and Twitter. So you can find us on Facebook.com/The Record Podcast, on Twitter @The Record Podcast without the A, and on Instagram @The Record Podcast, which is just also my personal one. And I'm also on Twitter on my own personal account @Zombie with 2 Z's and 4 E's. But I post enough on all the other stuff, so you're not really missing a whole lot there. But so jump on all that stuff. Friend, follow, listen, promote, love, all the good stuff. Last week I kind of hinted at some cool random things that have happened recently that I would get into on this mini, so I will do that now. If you didn't see, I re-shared or shared all this stuff in the past weeks, but you never know who's seeing this stuff on Facebook, seeing as I have to pay to get people to even see it. But a week or two ago, Alternative Press magazine, the website, put out an article called 7 music-related podcasts you need to check out. And surprise, surprise, we are on that list. I am on this list. I am the only thing that is this podcast. I need to stop referring to it as we. The Record Podcast made the list. It was a very great honor. Jesse Richmond interviewed 7 podcasts and did a little description on them. And for some weird reason, he put me on the list. And it was a very big honor because the other podcasts on there are ones that I really respect and listen to on my own. So to be on that list is a very big honor. And it's very much appreciated. We're a pretty small one on that list. So any help certainly is great. And thank you to Jesse Richmond and Alternative Press for the love. Certainly blew my mind. And it was great. It was a really great honor. So check that out if you haven't. If you can search 7 music-related podcasts you need to check out, or go to Alternative Press, find their website, and you can see it there. And otherwise, and just a weird, random, personal thing, every now and then I like to knock around in Photoshop and post stuff up in the world. And a couple weeks ago, there was that whole Donald Trump, posing with a taco bowl at his desk. And I was looking at it, I was like, man, this is ripe for some comedy. So I'm a big fan of Nick Kroll and the Nick Kroll Show, all his comedy, and especially on Nick Kroll, there's a bit called "Oh Hello." If you are not familiar, you need to go check that out on YouTube. A big part of that show, or not a big part, but one of the bits on "Oh Hello" is giving people a giant tuna sandwich. So what I did was I photoshopped a giant tuna sandwich on the Donald Trump picture, and I posted that to the world. And the little joke there is you've been pranked, or as they say, you've been prunked. So I put that up, and I tagged Nick Kroll and John Mulaney, the two comedians behind it. And weirdly enough, Nick Kroll saw it and liked it, and actually shared it on all his social media. So for a minute there, I was a little bitty famous, not famous boy in the Donald Trump Photoshop world. No, but it was awesome. It was really cool to see that, and especially for people that I'm friends with who are big fans of his. It was cool to have them see it too. So if you happen to see that picture, that was my doing, and it was pretty goofy, but pretty fun to see how that all got passed around. Other cool stuff in the world, there's a lot of good podcast stuff. So, just for those who are into the numbers, we've got 315 Facebook friends. It's awesome. 100 followers on SoundCloud, and over 7,000 plays total. So it's been really great. That alternative press article really helped in that world. Got a nice little boost from that. And because of that, I'm getting some people emailing me, and some new listeners, and also some new people who want to be guests on the show. So anyone who's interested, feel free to shoot me a message through any of that social media, or you can email me at therecordpodcast@gmail.com. I'm always up to checking somebody out and investigating it. And you don't have to be a musician. I really want to get into the world of production and just being outside the musicianship. So like I interviewed Dakota, who is a tour manager and guitar tech, interviewed Scott Heisel, who is in the journalism side of it. It's not just musicians, and eventually I want to kind of branch out of that even to the music world. But where I'm kind of, my wheelhouse is just anything music related. So if you're in any side of it, feel free to email me or hit me up on any of that social media. I'd love to get into that and see, what you're about, what you do, and possibly have you on the show. So this week I'm going to knock out some interviews so we can get some stuff going in the next few weeks, some good listens. And I'm excited. I'm excited for where this is going. It's not even been a year yet still here, and gotten to do a lot of cool things with it. So thank you all for supporting it. It's been really cool. And in my personal life too, my daughter Charlotte has 2 teeth, so it's super cool to have her bite the shit out of my hands now. So that's cool. So a little random news bit from my own personal life. Since it's been a minute since I've done this on the mini episodes, what I'm listening to. So a lot of good new stuff came my way in the past few weeks, and I'll run through it now. Head Wound City's new album. Paula Troy's new album.
She said that love wasn't enough protection. She said that money could buy anything, even her. But at the end of the day, your affections are destined for a one kind. You're a blind die. He built his home with his
And a group I'd never heard of that my friend Sarah actually got me hip to, called Spooky Black.
Try my best to pass time, and you didn't even notice it. No, you never noticed it.
All right, that's it. I've done a lot of babbling and no editing, so you're going to have to deal with all that. And yeah, next week. So I currently, right now, right this instant, I have no interviews backlogged, but I'm going to rip through some this week. So next week will be a brand new, fresh one. And I'm actually really excited for who it's going to be. It's someone who's in a band who just came out with a new album or is just going to come out with a new album. They just got signed to a big label. You know, it's a band that I admire and I'm a fan of. So I'm excited to get into some stuff with them. Ooh, you don't know. Is it a guy or is it a girl? Time for speculation, huh? But no, I'm excited for that. And then a couple other ones I'm hoping to knock out this week. So again, thank you for everyone who's checked out this podcast, who supported it, who's, you know, tweeted and retweeted, all that good stuff. It really does mean a lot to me. I'm the only person who sees all that, who responds to all that, so it's very much appreciated. Anything you're doing is helping this tiny little podcast get out to the world, and, you know, it means the world. So that's it. I'm done babbling. I will see you next week for an interview and a little bit of babbling on the Record Podcast.
No,